Alright, that's a wrap on White Lotus Season 3, and to celebrate, I'm wearing my Cousin of the Ratlifts who joined them on vacation outfit. Although, I guess I'm not sure why I'd want to be a part of that family. Anyway, this season was different for me because I actually watched it as it aired, instead of just binging the whole season like I did in the past. It was cool watching the show this way because I got to experience its online community for the first time. The episode reactions, the fan theories, the memes, and seeing the online discourse evolve throughout the season kind of put some things into perspective. I feel like there was a time when Netflix first started really blowing up that it seemed like binging shows was the future of TV. A new season would drop all of its episodes at once for you to watch at your leisure, whether that's over the course of a night or a couple weeks. And it was nice, but it kind of took away from the show's sense of community and removed the suspense that comes with waiting for new episodes to drop. So after experimenting with the binge formula for a little while, everyone just kind of agreed that, for once, delayed gratification is actually a good thing. Of course, the occasional Netflix show will drop all of its episodes at once, but by and large, most shows have settled on weekly episode releases. Everyone seems to agree that this is the way that shows are supposed to be consumed. And I tend to think that's true. There's a kind of beauty in the ritual, right? Maybe that new episode of Abbott Elementary every Wednesday is the pot of gold that just motivates you to finish your shift. Or maybe you just can't wait to get through your Thursday workday to cozy up on the couch and watch The Pit. I don't know why these examples involve hating your job, but you get the point. Whatever your show, whatever your ritual, I think we all enjoy that feeling of excitement that comes with having a new episode to look forward to every week. So yeah, there's a lot of value in the weekly episode model. But I also think it's interesting that this correct way of watching TV is itself not totally resistant to the changing of the times. In some ways, it's even more affected by the internet and modern culture than the binge model is. When you binge a show, you can kind of view it in a vacuum, separate from the outside world. But when you watch a show as it airs every week and you spend any time checking it out online, it's easy to get inundated with fan theories and speculation that can change your perception of the show. Let's dive in. I noticed something after the first few White Lotus episodes aired this season. All of a sudden, the show's subreddits. Yeah, subreddits plural. I don't know why, but the show has multiple subreddits. Anyway, they became inundated with fan theory after fan theory. I promise you that every possible twist and turn you could conceive of has been discussed over the past month. Except for the one that actually happened. Seriously though, the speculation has bordered on fan fiction. It's like people took the occasional plot twist that happened over the past couple seasons and just thought, you know, what if everything is bullshit? Chloe's friendship with Chelsea is just a ploy? I'm in. Sritala's husband is actually Rick's dad. Sign me up. Gary is the guy that kind of looks like Frank who hooked up with him the first time and that's somehow relevant to the plot? Why the hell not? These theories are fun to consider, and as you get subjected to them more and more, it's hard not to lend them some credence. I do think that my view of the show and my expectations for the season were affected by everything that I saw floating around on Reddit. And I don't know. I'm not so sure that's a good thing. I don't know whether or not I would have theorized on my own that Sritala's husband was actually Rick's dad, but I do know that I saw it online before I had the chance to come up with it myself. That theory gained so much traction that by the time we learned that he was indeed Rick's dad, it didn't have nearly the effect that it potentially could have because I was desensitized to it. I was almost expecting it. It's one thing if you have friends that watch a show you like and you all discuss the show with one another. There are bound to be a few theories that come up about where the show is going next. But nowadays, if you follow a show online as you're watching it, you will get subjected to every theory that anyone with an internet connection has. And it's hard for all that speculation to not affect your perception of the show. It doesn't even matter if the theories feel out of touch with the show's direction. People will just fucking throw their ideas out there. That was a whole other chapter in this fan speculation saga. After all these theories began making the rounds, response posts began popping up as well. Essentially, they told everyone to tame their expectations and stop treating the show like it's a damn soap opera. Sure, it has the occasional plot twist, but the show is largely built around interpersonal relationships and class dynamics, not pulling the wool over your eyes. Even Mike White, the creator of the show and writer of my all-time favorite movie, School of Rock, said in an interview after season 2 that he is aware of these online theories that tend to pop up, but there's no way he could actually pull them all off in the script. And look, none of this is meant to discourage fans from wild speculation. That is their right as a viewer of the show. I just think it's interesting that while the show has aired, there's been this whole subplot of theories and speculation that has existed outside of the show itself. It's like there's the known universe of the show as it airs on HBO, and then there's the parallel universes jutting out from it with every possible fan theory on Reddit. There's this like multiverse reality that comes with modern TV fandom. And I guess that's kind of cool. It's now easier than ever to turn your TV show fandom into a full-time hobby. If a show speaks to you and you want to explore it beyond just consuming the episodes, it's good to know that there is a community out there that will reciprocate the energy that you give. And it's pretty easy to find that community now. Take live chats, for example. Is watching the show itself not enough stimulation for your TikTok-addled brain? Well, as a television viewer in the year of our Lord 2025, you now have the option to participate in live discussions as new episodes of your favorite shows air. And look, this can be kind of fun for seeing that people are clocking the same things that you are, or even picking up on things that you didn't notice. But does it really have to be during the show? Okay. Remember when Breaking Bad was airing its final episodes and it was like the cultural event of the time? I remember my buddies and I would talk about it constantly, and we could not wait for the finale. So the day finally comes and the finale is here. I go to my friend's house to watch it with her family, and less than 10 minutes into the episode, they start just chatting. It's like kind of related to the episode, but not at all important. And they don't stop at just talking either. They pause the show multiple times in the middle of scenes to discuss what's going on. Mind you, the show is on AMC. There are commercials, but they're choosing to pause the show in the middle of the finale of the greatest TV show of all time. Somehow we make it through. I get the gist of what happened, and of course I've gone back to watch the episode since. But I'll never forget my first viewing of the Breaking Bad finale being that. And I know that having a live chat on your phone or your laptop is not nearly as invasive as what I just described. And I'm not trying to take away your fun if that's how you prefer to consume your TV shows. But it's just kind of funny that watching a TV show nowadays can be like watching a Twitch stream if you want it to be. What's the difference between following along in the chat of your favorite streamer or pulling up the live discussion thread for The Bachelor on your laptop? Obviously, I don't do that. I'm not an animal. But I'd be lying if I said that my first thought after finishing the episode isn't to check Reddit and see what the people are saying. Even beyond the wild storyline speculation that I talked about earlier, there's a lot of just general discussion that takes place online regarding shows and their characters. It's funny having an opinion on a character and learning that a bunch of people on the internet totally disagree with you. Take Piper, for example, the unproblematic middle child of the Ratliffs. Until I saw it on Reddit, I didn't figure that anyone would have a real problem with her. She seemed like the most normal tourist of them all this season. But according to a bunch of people online, she's this rich girl wannabe spiritual type. I don't know, that seems kind of unfair to me when she was clearly brought up in this materialistic environment and is just seeking some sense of meaning. So it's kind of funny when you have one opinion on a character that seems fairly obvious to you, and then a bunch of people online totally disagree. And amongst all this back and forth about which characters suck and which ones don't, I really didn't see any discussion about what I thought was the pretty obvious juxtaposition between the identity crises experienced by the Western tourists and the prevalence of Buddhism in their surrounding environment. I don't claim to be some expert, but I know that some of the core tenets of Buddhism are rooted in liberation from the suffering that comes with attaching yourself to an identity that you've created. They address this pretty head-on in the scenes where Rick is talking to the meditation instructor and Tim is talking to the monk, but I think Mike White purposefully wrote this season where several people are grappling with their sense of identity to occur in a country dominated by a religion that seeks to address that very issue. It's almost as if he's telling these characters to just stop and take in the wisdom around them. And I didn't see that discussed once. All in all, I do think it's really cool that the internet has made watching TV feel like a more immersive experience than it did before. The fusion of social media with the weekly episode model has made it possible for live chats, episode discussions, and fan theories to thrive. It's probably easier now for shows to make a pop culture impact as well. It's hard to imagine Duke issuing the same public statement that they did about that one scene if it had happened 30 years ago. So yeah, I'd say the impact that the internet has had on TV is a net positive. But I just think for those of us that appreciate the traditional TV experience, which again, the weekly episode model was supposed to sustain, it's important to be careful with how much you mix your internet time with your TV time. There's a certain charm that comes with just letting a show marinate, instead of getting battered with every fan theory imaginable. It's really cool that we have such easy access to communicate with people that like the same shit that we do. but you don't want to get bombarded with so much content surrounding the show that it takes away from what really matters, watching the show itself. Alright, that's all I got for today. You've been watching In Gabe We Trust. Thanks for stopping by.